You know, we are change people. We want change. We want reforms, not within the system. So this is an opportunity and all that. And then we can debate that and see whether there's an opening for such under the current arrangement. I don't think there's an opening for such.
I think good time for me to bring in Mr. Bwala from our Abuja studios. You've seen how Mr. Ogunye has started off, and he did say, well, there's this silence. Perhaps we should get some kind of explanation from the government. And looking at ethical consideration and constitutional consideration for him is very key, as against what some are saying about some ethnic affiliation. I'm quite sure you've been following the argument in the social media and in the public space, even amongst lawyers.
Well, right. Thank you for having me. I think that it is important for us to understand that the whole situation surrounding the position of the acting CJN, or the confirmation or call for confirmation, I think that Nigerians have a right to express that concern. However, we should also be careful not to be prejudicial in this instance. Until the day before or the last day when the acting CJN will cease to be acting CJN, there is enough time for the president to send his name to the National Assembly for confirmation. Now, whether our argument is from the legal perspective or our argument is from the moral or ethical perspective, we need to make that clear. Personally, I believe that if the president does not have confidence in the acting CJN, he wouldn't have in the first place swore him in as the acting CJN. You can look that up, even pursuant to the provision of the Constitution. And by convention, the National Judicial Council, I think they usually send 2 or 3 names of the justices of the Supreme Court in their order of seniority. And so if the president has a reservation for swearing him in, I think that the president would have probably come up with whatever reason, and then to jettison his name and choose some other person. I believe that the president is going to confirm him. But let us wait until when it is almost practically impossible. And I know that the reason why there is a conversation is because it has not happened before. And it's important, it is through conversation we'll be able to understand situation. Like my learned friend has rightly said, talk about the period it has taken before the president constituted his cabinet. And now whether that is being applied with respect to the judiciary. However, I beg to differ when that comparison is made with the United States of America, because I think that our states of situation are quite different, from another. If you look at Section 131, you look at subsection 4 and subsection 5, it is clear that as it stands now, the president has not in any way violated the law or is going contrary to the law. And then the issue of ethical coloration that has generated conversation in the media space or in Nigeria, even among legal practitioners, was generated by the opposition party. As soon as he was sworn in as the acting CJN, we began to hear complaints from the people from the opposing party, and that has created a lot of conversation. If you look at the president's antecedent, and I believe strongly that by and large the president is going to confirm Justice Onenge as the Chief Justice of Nigeria, because the man is a man of credibility, is a man who knows the law, is a man who has rose through the rank, and is a man who has impeccable character and integrity. So let us not be in a hurry to judge this government. Let us wait and see until when it is getting to be practically impossible before we can draw a conclusion that this government probably has a problem for not confirming him as the substantive CJN.
When you talk about man of integrity, I don't know if you've also heard the argument of him being mentioned in a very bad light. It's also there in the Justice Kaido Esho report, which some are also saying perhaps that is why there's a question mark on on his name being sent to the Senate at the moment. Are you aware of that argument as well?
Yes, I have heard. Even though I have not set my eyes on Justice Kaido Esho, late Justice Kaido Esho's report, I also have not heard or read that this acting CJN was indicted, but I know that it was reported that more than 40 judges of the high courts were recommended for either suspension or expulsion or sack because of the matters associated with corruption. But I need you to understand, sir, that the very fact that the report has not been acted upon is a conclusive proof that there is no, as it were, established allegation against him. But if, for example, the successive government have acted or have taken steps to give effect to the report, then we can say that forms a very good ground for which he will be denied his right of becoming the substantive Chief Justice of Nigeria. What we know, just like in the case of Magu, the erstwhile chairman of EFCC, we know that the Department of State Services, the police, and all other agencies of government that do background checks for people to be confirmed, as officers of certain positions in the country. If there is any report like that, probably it will have come up in the media. But I do not personally think that the report of late Justice Kayode Esho is enough to stop him from being confirmed as a substantive Chief Justice of Nigeria. And
back to you here, GT. The theme here is how you started off, and that is, you said, if tomorrow comes, we have a CJN, whether on Noge or someone else, is a Chief Justice of Nigeria we're talking about, and not one of any region. Is it any surprise that lawyers, fantastic lawyers, have delved into the arena with the ethnic flag?
It's surprising to me that they will do that, because they ought to attend this matter with circumspection and decorum. Politicians and the ordinary people can, and I'm not saying this in a pejorative manner, I'm saying that people who are not legal initiates, so to speak, can ethnicize issue, can throw up all these issues. But I expect lawyers to be more sober and exercise restraint and circumspection. I look at the provisions of the Constitution, and I reference Section 231, subsection 1 and 5, particularly subsection 5 of Section 231. And it says that even if the 3 months were to lapse without the President forwarding the name to the Senate for confirmation, or without the Senate confirming, the NJC, presided over, interestingly, by this acting CJN, can recommend that you shall not appoint another person to take over from him.
That's after 3 months.
After 3 months.
I think we'll come back. We'll come back and let you expatiate more on that, because it's a very interesting... Sorry to cut you, because it's a very interesting vista you just opened in this whole argument. But that will be after now.